Good morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Tuesday, November 16th, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Hamilton, Bermuda, it's 12:30 p.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. We have a little bit of breaking news that came in after the issue was put to bed. Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, the capital of Ohio, has evacuated 4 buildings, including the main library, as a result of bomb threats that were emailed to the FBI. Several helicopters are circling overhead. The Ohio State Police are there. Obviously, the university security personnel. The university is a huge university in the United States. It has about 56,000 students. No knowledge of any other information, or certainly no information about any explosions. Also, a follow-up on yesterday's high-rise fire in Shanghai, in which at least 55 people are now confirmed dead. The Chinese government, actually the municipal government of Shanghai, reacted promptly and completely avoiding any discussion of building codes, building materials, or anything else, have promptly arrested 7 unlicensed welders. So if things run true to form, they'll probably be executed. Carnival Cruise Lines has announced that ship, the Splendor, which was towed back to San Diego Harbor last weekend, is going to be out of service until January the 11th. Less than 2 months from now. They say that's how long it will take to repair the fire damage. I would say that it's also going to take that long to clean it, considering the fact that there were no utilities on board and the power was out. The company has thoughtfully offered all of the passengers who were stranded a refund full on their trip, as well as a 25% discount on any future voyages they care to book. The stock market in New York is taking a beating right now. It's down about 166 points, sort of an inauspicious day for General Motors to come out with their IPO, but we'll see if they hold it. Now we'll go to our reinsurance news. Amlin down in Bermuda has unveiled plans to begin writing casualty reinsurance business. It's going to start on 1/1 of next year. Stuart McKellar, who's the MD down there, said the decision marked a natural progression in the development of the company's book of business in Bermuda. It's going to have Peter Tadman coming over from Amlin, London. He's coming next week. He's going to be the head of the operation for the reinsurance group down there. Peter was previously at Argo International. Amlin Bermuda increased the level of business it wrote in the first 10 months of this year, generating up to 261 million British pounds of gross written premium. Last year at this time it had about 224 million. News from Paris that this man, Henri de Castries, the charismatic leader of the largest insurer on the continent, expects to reduce costs by at least 1.5 billion euros by 2015. Henri said, in a post-crisis world, we're reviewing the balance between growth and efficiency. AXA aims to deploy capital in emerging markets and in businesses such as protection and health, he said. No elaboration on what protection means. AXA plans to have more than 500 million euros of pre-tax productivity gains at its life and savings units, and also expects to get 1 billion euros of same gains at the P&C operations. Analysts are not impressed. They say that the cost reductions are aggressive. They said, still, this isn't a complete plan. The market's not reacting to it yet. Mr. de Castries is presenting the plan right now in Paris to the investors and to the board. In Canopius, London, 2 new underwriters have been hired, one from Brit Insurance and the other from Nove, to boost its marine and non-marine classes. Charles Fernandez has joined as marine property and deputy marine liability underwriter. Andrew Fowles has come on board as North American facilities underwriter. Fernandez was previously at Brit. Fowles was previously responsible for North American Binding Authority at Nove. They're both going to write business through Canopius' Syndicate 4444. Insurance Day's Scott Vincent, a very perceptive observer, is writing today that PricewaterhouseCoopers is predicting that Europe's insurance sector retains considerable scope for restructuring and, quote, it's only a matter of time before more widespread changes in the ownership of European insurance assets take place. PwC says that the impetus for restructuring will be particularly strong for insurance because of the impact of Solvency II. The report said, written by PricewaterhouseCoopers, it's actually called Sharing Deal Insight. You can find it on their website. The report said that insurance-related merger and acquisition activity has been relatively modest in recent quarters. Some large deals have taken place, but most of it has been confined to the mid-market. During the second quarter of this year, about 1.77 billion US in deals went through, which is a very modest amount, said the report, but they say this level of activity is about to experience a surge amid regulatory reform. Quote, the incoming Solvency II regime will encourage firms to maximize their efficiency and rethink their strategic options. Banking groups will also continue to review their ownership of insurance subsidiaries. Several European insurance groups have already taken steps to reduce their exposure to mature markets, shed subscale businesses, and build up their operations in faster-growing regions to improve their attractiveness to potential purchasers. Stock market continues to go down, about 168 now, down. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news.
Design for peace.
In New Delhi yesterday, a 5-story apartment building collapsed, killing at least 65 people. The scene there today is grim. People are hammering at slabs of concrete with their bare hands, trying to find people who are missing. The 15-year-old building housed hundreds of people, mostly migrant workers. It collapsed last night in New Delhi's congested Lalita Park area. According to the top elected official in New Delhi, presumably she's the mayor, Sheila Dikshit, the scale of the tragedy is unprecedented. News from Paris, French health officials are saying that the now banned diabetes and weight loss drug Mediator may have been linked to the deaths of about 500 people. France's Health Product Safety Agency is advising users of the drug, the brand name for Benfluorex in France, from 2006 to 2009 to see their doctor to check for possible heart valve problems. The agency said today that about 5 million people used Mediator starting in 1976. The European Medicines Agency pulled Benflorix from the market last year, saying it had little effect on diabetes and might in fact lead to a thickening of heart valves. In September, European regulators pulled the diabetes drug Avandia off the market because of links to heart attacks. This story occurred over the weekend. Actually, on Sunday, a resort hotel in Mexico essentially exploded, and Playa del Carmen, the Grand Riviera Princess Hotel, killed 5 Canadians, including a 9-year-old boy. It left a crater about a meter deep in one of the buildings. Authorities in Mexico were quick to point out that the cause of the explosion could be a methane blast, methane drifting from a nearby swamp below the hotel, which presumably built up to high levels and then ignited from a spark. Preposterously, the Mexicans are saying that the hotel was partly built on top of a cave that acted as a repository for the deadly explosive gas. The investigation aims to determine whether the building, which sat on a concrete pad near the beach, was properly constructed. A professor of civil engineering at Canada's Queen's University said that for an explosion like the one to have occurred at the resort to occur, there would have to be a huge containment of methane gas, and it would need an ignition source such as a cigarette or an electrical spark. He said that it sounds to me like there potentially was seepage of that vapor into some kind of contained environment, maybe under the concrete floor. At a certain point, you have enough pressure in the system, and with the right ignition source, you have an explosive hazard. He did think, I think it's a little irresponsible to build a hotel next to a swamp if the swamp is going to be known for producing gas and not have a way to vent the gas. Our final story, here in New Jersey, 4 years ago, actually 5 years ago, there was a crash up at Teterboro Airport up near New York City. Here's a picture of it. This is a 2-engine jet that was unable to stop when it landed. Actually, it was during takeoff. I apologize. This is a Challenger CL-600 jet in February of 2005. The plane was attempting to get airborne, and it was unable to, and it zoomed into the hangar and almost went out to Route 4, which is a very busy highway running right next to Teterboro Airport. Well, yesterday, the operators of the Florida-based charter company that owned the plane were found guilty of skirting safety requirements to boost their profits. A federal jury in Newark returned a verdict against 2 brothers who co-founded and ran the now defunct Platinum Jet Management Limited. Michael and Paul Brassington were accused of overloading planes with cheap fuel, causing aircraft to exceed allowable takeoff and landing weights, and then lying about the weight on flight manifests. The company came under intense scrutiny after the February 2005 crash. The pilot had tried to abort the takeoff after he was unable to get the plane airborne but couldn't stop. The speeding jet with 8 passengers and 3 crew members careened through a perimeter fence across a busy highway before slamming into the side of a warehouse. No one was killed. All 11 people on board and 9 on the ground were injured. Prosecutors charged the charter company, whose clientele had included people such as Bon Jovi, Jay-Z, Keith Richards, as not being certified to fly commercial charters. According to the prosecutors, the company cut corners to make more money. One of the company's pilots, before the trial, admitted to making dozens of illegal flights, falsifying flight logs, and altering weight and center of gravity graphs in what prosecutors charge as an anything-goes scheme to pump up the bottom line. The 2 brothers are going to be sentenced in March. That's not good. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, we'll see you tomorrow, and thank you for watching.